Marc Martel, welcome.
How are you?
I am so good. How are you guys?
Very good. I'm going to be completely honest and transparent when I say this. There's no smoke. You know, lots of people on the radio, lots of people that do interviews, they lie to the other people on the other end of the phone. This is no lie. I discovered you about, what was it, Joe? 8, 9, 7 years ago?
It was a bit ago, yeah.
And I saw you on YouTube, and I'm a huge Queen fan. Freddie Mercury, one of the greatest singers of all time. And I saw you, and I'm like, my God. And hopefully you don't take offense to this, but I've told people for years, I'm like, this guy has a small resemblance, and there is no one else out there that I know of that sounds as close to Freddie Mercury as Marc Martel. And I've shouted that same thing since the day I saw you for about 10 years now.
Yep.
I think you're incredible.
I would have to agree.
Well, thank you. And what an honor to finally meet the person who discovered me.
Yeah. I wish that were me. So you got this One Vision of Queen show. It's going to be here at the venue tomorrow night at Thunder Valley. I have to ask this, and for the people that don't know, Marc Martel started out as a Christian singer. I don't know if you still do Christian rock, but he's from Canada, just a wee bit younger than me, so he grew up with Queen. But what was the song? What was the Freddie Mercury song that made you say, I need to copy him?
Well, it's not so much a copy, honestly. You know, like you mentioned, I had my own Christian rock band for actually like almost 15 years. And I didn't grow up, like you said, I mean, I did grow up around Queen's kind of biggest part of when they were like the biggest band in the world, touring in the early 80s. But I was not aware of them at all. And it wasn't until I started my own band and started touring, people started telling me, hey, you know, you sound a lot like that guy from Queen. I'm like, who? You know, Freddie Mercury. I'm like, oh, okay. So I started getting that all the time. And then I was like, okay, I got to check these guys out. I was like, oh, okay, this is the We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions, Bohemian Rhapsody band. Oh, yeah, I should really get into these guys. And, you know, it's made me a better singer, actually, you know, discovering Freddie Mercury and diving into his catalog. But, yeah, it's not something that I realized on my own. It was people telling me that I sound like him.
Now I got to be even more honest with you, Marc. I get so sick of these nonchalant stories of haphazardly people tripping over into things they're not even aware of. Like, hey, how'd you get that role for the biggest movie in the world right now? I don't know. I was walking down the street one day eating an ice cream cone, and this producer walked up and said, hey, you want to do it? That's crazy.
That's very, very cool, though, to find out that's how it happened.
We're not going to keep you long, but I got to know two things. First of which, what is your favorite Queen song to do?
I mean, besides Bohemian Rhapsody, because I don't know how you beat that one. But I will say I do love Somebody to Love because it was my first kind of viral video that...
That's the one I saw.
Yeah, that's the one that most people saw first. And that's when I realized that, like, oh, this is kind of a special thing to sound like Freddie Mercury, I guess. So let's see where this goes, you know? I love Under Pressure. I love Love of My Life. There's so many. I mean, like, we did 2 hours of basically greatest hits, so it's hard to pick.
Wow.
So, what is the hardest song or a song you can't do?
I don't know that there's any songs I can't do. I mean, there's one that I had to record for the movie Bohemian Rhapsody that I wasn't very familiar with called I'm Going Slightly Mad.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason it's hard for me is because Freddie Mercury was using the lowest range that he could possibly put into a song. And apparently his voice was a little bit lower than mine. So I had, you know, I can't do that one super great. But the high stuff is kind of in my ballpark, so.
All right. Do you guys do any Radio Gaga? Do you do I Want It All? I mean, are you doing basically all the hits that were ever on the radio?
Pretty much, man. Those two are definitely in the show. They're staples to our show. We don't really mess with the ones that people really want to hear the most. We do play a couple lesser-known tunes, but we pretty much stick to what you'd really want to hear.
And for those that may not have caught it, Marc just said when he did songs for the movie Bohemian Rhapsody, I got to tell you this. I think they should have grabbed you, not only to do the music, which you did, but I think you could have passed off, I don't know how good you can act, but I was not that happy. I can't remember what's the guy's name.
Rami Malek.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just, with the fake teeth and all that, I don't know. I mean, he kind of looked like him. I walked away with wanting a little bit more of the story, and I wasn't blown away with his performance like a lot of people were. You were fantastic in it.
Your resemblance when you sing and stuff is just spot on, man.
Yeah, and I hope you don't take offense to this, because I noticed some similarities with your teeth and all that, and it brings me to this. Freddie always said that he had like extra molars or an elongated mouth. Do you have anything going on with your mouth?
No, I've got a normal amount of teeth. Normal molars. Normal size mouth.
Yeah, and I don't want you to take offense, but I know you've heard the story.
Dog does not get impressed with that many people. I'm going to be honest with you right now, Mark. And he was from the second he heard you. And it was pretty cool because I've worked with him for a long, long time, and there's not many folks that would make him say something like that at all.
Yeah, he's being truthful, Mark. I mean, not much impresses me. Musically, I've done this a long time, and when I heard you, I'm like, hey, you guys need to check this out. This guy's real deal. He's pretty damn good. And then from there, you just started crawling, at least into our ears, and becoming part of what we know for music here in America.
Yeah.
And you just started blowing up. And I got to be truthful. I just don't understand this Adam Lambert crap that's going on that won't end.
You guys really are pushing the shock jock thing all the way to its limit. It's great.
No, this is kind of like nothing shocking about it.
Yeah, this is how he is. He's just like that all the time, brother.
I don't understand why he's paired up with Brian May and you're not.
Well, I do have a relationship with Queen. I worked with them for 5 or 6 years until about the movie came out. They're artists, man. They want to represent their art the way they do. Listen, I can't speak for them at all, but I just kind of imagine how it would be for me to find someone who sounds and looks like my dear friend who passed away a long time ago and have that kind of person on stage with me. I think that would freak me out a little bit, but that's just me.
Oh, you know what? That's a good point.
Never really thought about it. There might be some truth there. That could be. So let's go out and get someone that looks nothing like you or Freddie and sounds nothing like you or Freddie. That makes perfect sense.
Oh, you're not a fan of Adam Lambert. That's why.
I'm not. I'm a fan of Mark Martel.
I'm a fan of him, though. I do like Adam Lambert, I think he's a pretty cool dude, but I think you sound better.
Mark, I don't know if you know this or not, but the venue out at Thunder Valley, a brand new venue. It's beautiful. It's small, and everyone should be out there tomorrow night to see you and enjoy this One Vision of Queen. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you for your time. This is fun.
All right, man. Marc Martel, One Vision of Queen, tomorrow night, Thunder Valley at the venue. Thank you.
Have a great show, Mark. It was a lot of fun talking to you.
All right. See you guys tomorrow.